Wow. I can see everything up here. This is amazing. Oh, I can see my house. Whoa. Uh-oh. How's it going, everybody? Ed Ricker here. It is a beautiful day, and what better day than to fly with the DJI goggles at the lake. In the United States, the FAA actually requires that we fly with a visual line of sight of the drone, and technically putting these on your face, you're losing line of sight. So to be within complete legal boundaries with the FAA, Christian is coming over and he's gonna help me out. All right, putting these bad boys on. I feel like I'm about to do some welding. So basically there are two screens in here and they are 1080 resolution for a total of 3840 across by 1080 vertical. And together they create a really awesome display in front of you. It feels like it's about this far in front of me and about this wide. All right guys, first off, the Mavic Pro. You may remember Christian from our hover test in the wind at the beach. How you been, Christian?
Pretty good.
Good. Okay. So this is the first time I've actually used these with the tracking system with the, wow. So I'm seeing that car over there and I can track it pretty well with my head. And Christian, you can probably see what's on my screen, can't you?
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Now there's head tracking mode for the gimbal, and there's also head tracking mode for the flight of the drone, where you can actually make the drone turn, not just the gimbal, but the actual drone itself turn when you turn your head left and right. So I'm gonna actually try that. Okay, so when we actually turn our heads, the drone is moving, but it moves very slow. A little bit slower than what feels natural. You kind of have to move your head very slow. It's moving the entire drone now. So there's two different settings. One just moves the camera, but the drone keeps going whichever way you want to with the sticks on the controller. The other one actually controls the entire drone movement. That is crazy. But it doesn't move very fast. I wonder if in sport mode it moves faster. Oh. Okay, so if you put it into sport mode, you can actually move your head and the drone moves a lot faster when you do that. Let's let Christian try this out and see what he thinks. Sorry for the sweat.
You just gotta get used to it. Definitely tell whomever's using it. Do a lot of practice, obviously, because it just takes a moment to get acquainted with it and how it works.
So when you put the goggles on, this is what the menu looks like. We're connected to the Mavic Pro right now. And you see that we have functions for flight, settings for the goggles themselves, and camera settings for the Mavic. If we go up to the first selection, we can see that we have all of our intelligent flight modes. The middle selection is the goggle settings themselves. Finally, the camera options, and this keeps you from having to go and toggle through them on your display on the controller itself. So I didn't realize that when you put on the goggles may actually override whatever settings you had with the video. So the video settings defaulted to 1080 at 60 frames per second. I never shoot 60 frames per second with the Mavic Pro, but this somehow made it switch to that. So double check it, make sure if you want to shoot in 4K that you select it after you select your mode. Okay, so my friend Harrison's here now. Christian had to go, but I'll take one brother for another. Harrison, how ridiculous do I look?
Pretty ridiculous.
We have the Phantom 4 Pro, and the big difference here is that the Phantom 4 Pro cannot connect wirelessly to the DJI goggles. Everything that's normally on here is now being seen here. Well, I take that back, not everything, but a good amount of things. All right, let's go to up and at 'em. Woo! 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 That's some breeze. So let's go into head tracking gimbal. Very nice. Wow, that's actually faster than the Mavic. Whoever's piloting really also has to be the person who's watching in the goggles, because since we're not using any sort of display on the controller, there's no other way to pilot this. Head tracking flight. So now all I gotta do is press forward and the drone is moving. It's just there is a big dead space in the center, and I bet that I could maybe raise up the sensitivity of the head tracking to make that better. But one thing I am noticing is that I still maintain control with my thumbs. I can still control yaw, I can still control moving of left and right with the drone if I want to with my hands, but I let go of all that and I still maintain that with the head tracking. Take this off and land line of sight. I just feel like that's a better idea. This is a sweat collecting machine. If you were bottling up sweat as a business, you'd probably invest in one of these. Thank you to Harrison, and thank you to Christian earlier for stopping by and helping me out. Really cool product. I love these first-person view goggles. They seem to be really high quality. They're a little heavy, but I can get past that fact just because I know how much has gone into them and what the battery life is, which is 6 hours. That's pretty impressive. The range on the goggles is the same as whatever range you have for the remote control of the drone that you're using. Now, one really cool thing is that you can actually use this with a computer or any other device that has an HDMI output. I was actually playing some first-person games. The only thing is head tracking doesn't work with that. So when you're using some sort of actual VR game, you're not going to get the head tracking benefits of a real VR headset. They sell this as being able to be used with glasses, but both of my parents who wear glasses tried the goggles and they couldn't seem to get good focus with this little ring right here. They actually had to take off their glasses in order to use it properly, and then they could actually see the image better. Wow, that took a turn. So it looks like I am done shooting for today. If you're interested in the goggles or anything else about drones, check out my video description for links to them. Until next time, happy flying and stay dry.